So I've been talking a lot lately about communicating and connecting with our clients. And I am so excited to introduce Julie Langley, the business manager of Aquarius Aquatics. And she is joining us today. Welcome, Julie, and thank you so much for joining us.
No, thanks, Tori. Thanks very much. Yeah, we're happy to try and share a little bit of insight because it has been a tough time for everybody. Not to say that we've done the best thing out there, but I think the team has tried. Yeah, so thanks very much.
Julie, how long has your family been involved in swimming?
We've actually been involved in swimming for about 20 years. My son started competitive swimming when he was 11. He ended up being a top competitive swimmer and national age group champion. So he actually stopped swimming at the age of about 21. And yeah, so we've actually been in it for 20 years. The club that he swam with based in Johannesburg, I actually ended up being their business manager as well for 12 years. So we've been involved in swimming and the swimming fraternity for a very long time.
Wow, that's amazing. And what is the driving force behind you opening your family Learn to Swim school?
You know, Tori, I think for us it was really just a change and shift and gear for us about what we felt was really important for young swimmers in South Africa. We are a very passionate team. We truly understand the importance of little ones learning the life skill of swimming and water safety and building their water confidence. And that's what actually drove us, I think, as a family to really invest in a family business and Learn to Swim school.
Yeah, I can really tell you are really passionate about that. So can you tell us a little bit more about your team?
Yeah, sure. As I say, it's predominantly a family business. Chris is the owner. It's probably set up a little bit differently to a lot of swim schools. It's not a one-man show. We have a very big administration and development team to help us get through things, and we also believe in collective ideas as a team. So Chris is the owner of the business, and then myself, I'm the business manager, and then Chris's wife Taryn is actually the administration manager. We have at the moment one Learn to Swim teacher at the Learn to Swim school, Angie. She's absolutely delightful. She's an SSA accredited teacher. She's an ex-teacher herself, so she's very innovative and creative, and I think teaching swimming actually comes quite naturally for her. So that's Angie, and she's very experienced, and you know, she's always keen to learn for her own personal growth, which is great. And then on the squad side, we have Coach Carl. Very lucky to have him. He's actually been involved in squad coaching for 10 years. He really understands about skills, techniques, and he's got he's able to actually teach swimmers from level 1, if I can put it that way, right through to senior national age group, so an age group swimmers. So he really has a solid understanding of what it takes to be a swimmer. Yeah, so I think we're actually very lucky with the team that we've got. At the Learn to Swim school, we teach infants from babies right up to Learn to Swim adults. And in the squad system with Carl, it's really the progression of the kids from Learn to Swim into 25-meter pools, and then the school swimmers and club swimmers who are looking to actually, I think you mentioned it in one of our comments there, to actually train hard, learn the right way, and actually ultimately just become the best that they can actually be. And that's what Aquastrokes program and squads are about.
Wow, I love that. I often find that there is a huge gap between Learn to Swim and club level. So how have you overcome this in your swim school?
Yeah, I think Chris himself was quick to identify that after being in Learn to Swim for a couple of years, because what we actually found is, firstly, on our own Learn to Swim school, we actually needed a progression for our own swimmers to go into a 25-meter pool. There's also a lot of swimmers out there in the school environment that don't necessarily want to do the grueling training of club swimming every day, but they still want to be able to participate in the school program. They're at primary school and high school for 12 years. So somebody needs to teach them how to swim the right way so they can build that confidence and be good enough to actually participate in the school team and all that kind of thing. So Chris actually identified that, and we decided to contract lanes at a local swim school, a local primary school, which we have done. It's a fabulous facility. We work really well with them. We have a great working relationship. And I suppose Aquastroke Squads, as it's known as, is really to develop predominantly school swimmers into becoming better. Yeah, I think the nice thing is we've actually taken on, we've officially now registered as a club, which is very exciting for us. So
Yes,
that's the next
congratulations.
step in our business. So, you know, from these kids have done so well with Carl. So there's a lot that want to go on to a better form of training. So I think the club now provides a platform for them to go to high levels of competition if they want to.
Sure, yes, that is really exciting, and congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So it is important to realize that a Learn to Swim school is a real business, and if you have the right strategies in place, it can be a really lucrative one. It just needs to, you need to remember that to run it as a real business. So what media strategies have you used?
Okay, I think, you know, firstly, just to say, Tori, I think every swim school is different on how they see as the best strategy for them. I think in our instance, we have certainly found that Facebook has been an exceptional tool for us. Placing continual adverts, I think just actually being out there in people's faces, because to us, it's not always about coming to the swim school, it's about people knowing who we are, what we're doing, that awareness side of things. So that they actually, if somebody's talking about swim schools, they can easily recommend and all that kind of thing. We're constantly on Facebook. We're always out there. And we do have a couple of kids platforms that we advertise on as well, which seem to work for us really nicely.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, I love Facebook and what Facebook can do for swim schools. It really is amazing. And I'm so glad that you've had success with Facebook. So can you tell me a little bit about your results?
Yeah, sure. I think, as I say, it's very effective for us. We really design our own advertisements for both the Learn to Swim School and the squad. Chris is also very technology savvy, which has actually helped tremendously. I've actually learned a lot from him. I'm old school, as I call it. I like all paperwork and everything in front of me, but I've learned a lot from him, which has been great. And what we generally do is we generally try to pinpoint a time of year that we really feel, excuse me, is the best time to get out there in people's faces. Probably, I'd say coming up now, end of July, August is definitely a time to get out there. And that's when we start a lot of Facebook promotions, whether it be like the page or whether it be actually a different aspect of an ad that we're doing. We also put a lot of swim school videos together with music, just to put that ambience across and the happiness of the kids and all that kind of thing. Obviously, with the kids now, we try and avoid a lot of adverts with the kids in it because it's their privacy and whatever. And we do have a strict policy in the school. Unless we get permission from the parents, we don't actually post those kids onto our Facebook page.
Oh, that's a really important point to put across.
Yeah.
And I'm always saying that video, you've got to do video. It's so important. There's so much more engagement and people can really connect with you when they're actually seeing a video as well.
I think they do, and I think also they get a feel for who we are and what the swim school is actually all about. Because what we often do as well is Chris does these promotions and we're on Facebook, and that's when we're really able to track how many views we're getting, all that kind of thing, which I think is important to any business. It's all very well to put your ads out there, but somehow you need to actually track what's going on as well. And we generally, when we get an inquiry, like to say to the people, you know, where did you hear about us?
Yes, yeah. I love that. That is the whole point of why I love Facebook so much, is that for every dollar or every rand you are putting into Facebook, you can track it all the way along and you can really see if you're getting your return on your investment. And also you're able to change the ads and split test ads. So it's really, I'm so glad that you are using it to its full potential and then you're seeing the results.
Well, I'm glad for Chris in that instance because he knows how to handle that side, which is fantastic.
That is awesome. So now in South Africa, we have just been given the go-ahead to actually open. So that is really exciting. From the 1st of July, swim schools are going to be able to open. But because of the whole coronavirus pandemic across the world, it's really taken a toll. And I want to know, how have you and your team managed to stay positive during this time, Julie?
Yeah, Tori, I'm not going to lie. There's been some days where we've really sort of thought, God, how are we going to keep our heads above the water? And I think the team decided what was most important to us was being in communication with clients that wanted to remain in communication with us. So I think it was really more, it was definitely challenging. There's no doubt about it. But I think it was focusing on the task at hand. And just like with many other swim schools, the loss of clientele has been tremendous because most people are battling really financially. But it was crucial to us to actually find a way to communicate with the families at the Learn to Swim School and the squad who actually wanted to remain in contact with us. And that, I think, was important to us.
I think that is really important. And, you know, if you're not out there, then you're actually kind of invisible. And I think a lot of people actually needed inspiration and needed from swim schools specifically to be kind of that rock and know that everything was kind of going to be okay. And many swim schools felt frozen and kind of not knowing what to say or how to say it, and kind of didn't say anything. But I think that actually stepping out and actually being present you must have been able to see some results from that.
Yeah, I think initially it was, I think the word frozen on what to say is so apt because we were like that for a while. You know, there was a lot of panic going on out there. Nobody was really sure as to what was going to go on. I don't think anybody, Tori, actually expected the lockdown to go on this long. You know, so the initial instance, I think many of us thought, oh, it's only going to be like 4 weeks and we're going to be out of this, we're going to be back in the water. It's only when that was prolonged we realized we wanted to get really smart here because this could go on for a much longer period. Yeah, and we're so invested in what we're doing. I think it was now, as I say, the crucial point, let's find a way to communicate with our customers. That was crucial to us, very, very.
And so how have you managed your social media over this time?
The social media in the beginning initially was very quiet because I think, as you said, you know, nobody was too sure what to say, what to do. We chose rather to communicate directly with our clients, whether it be on email or on SMS. We didn't really go publicly out there too much about the virus or what was happening on our Facebook page because it was also at that time a lot of uncertainty as to what this pandemic actually was and how it was going to affect us all. And, you know, scientists were looking into, there was no definite information we could post on there. So the Facebook page did go quiet for a while.
Yes, and no, I remember that time. It was kind of, we're hearing stuff from Europe, but we're thinking, okay, well, maybe it's, yeah, not even real, or it was
no, sure.
Such a crazy time. So what other ways did you communicate with your customers besides actually on your Facebook page?
Okay, I think, as I say, letters initially, but, you know, then the letters started all sounding the same, you know, supporting the government stance and hope they're all safe and all that kind of thing. So then we went to SMS Wishes, and then what we did is our Learn to Swim teachers actually started doing different things with the kids. The team actually prepared right from the beginning of middle of March when we closed our doors, a water safety activity booklet. They were sent this booklet. We decided to get very interactive with them from coach or from teacher to client. They started getting audio water safety booklets. We started doing coloring competitions. We started doing with them video greeting messages from their teachers to them. They got some lovely messages back from the little kids. Hello, teacher Angie, I miss you all. It was really, really sweet. And then, yeah, I think we just progressed a little bit further, realizing that the lockdown was going to be longer. We went on to doing basic videos of the teaching from the teachers to their kids, where for the younger ones, they did blowing of bubbles in water, all this kind of thing. And then for the older kids, the teachers did a stroke demonstration for each stroke. I think the problem was though, Tori, you can send out all this information, but you never really know how effective it is because it's going to the parent and yes, we got thanks and whatever, but were they actually practicing this at home? Because that we couldn't monitor. That was quite a concern for us.
And it's also quite difficult to keep motivated, especially when you're kind of not getting feedback. It's actually quite hard being on the other side of this digital kind of world, because you can put a lot out there, but unless people are giving you feedback, which especially at this time, people are kind of not doing that, then it's hard to be knowing, okay, this is working, this is keeping kiddies engaged, let me keep on doing this, or knowing what to kind of pivot and do something else.
Yeah, definitely. You know, as a team, we actually had to think of the next step for us. We had to make a decision on what was going to be our next move with our clients.
Yeah. Well, I think that is loads of creative ways. It's absolutely wonderful. Well done. Did you use any Zoom sessions or do Zoom at all?
We did, Tori. What we decided was we needed to find a way to interact with these kids. We needed to see them. We needed to talk to them. I think also for their own normality a little bit. They needed to see Teacher Angie. They needed to see her. They needed to know the swim school was here. They needed to know Teacher Angie was there. So it was quite a bold move, I think, for Learn to Swim. But yeah, we actually decided to go Zoom. Yeah, we got very creative on how we did the lessons, and it's been an incredible experience. I think for Teacher Angie, it has been absolutely rewarding. And Squad, we did that initially straight away. But it's just so, these kids were so excited to see Teacher Angie on the screen and talk to her and sing with her, and dance with her, and learn a bit of swimming with her. It's been wonderful.
That it's well done for her, because actually it can be really stepping out your comfort zone to actually learn something new and be able to step forward on Zoom, where you're not, it's very different from being in the pool to then doing Zoom lessons. So sure, well done to her, because she really actually came up.
No, she's done a great job. I mean, we gave a lot of thought to the lesson content. I don't know whether you want me to tell you a little bit about that, what it consisted of. Okay, so basically we taught on Zoom from infants to learn to swim to our stroke kids. And a lot of people might go, oh wow, the parents, how do you do that? But what we did is we adapted the baby lesson into a land session, where if they were jumping into the pool, instead of jumping in the pool, they jumped off their couch to mom and dad. We still followed the same lesson format. We had little, on the Learn to Swim side, we had them blowing bubbles with a face in, with straws, blowing ping pong balls across the tubs, all this kind of thing. I mean, the squeals of delight with the wet faces coming up were actually wonderful to see. It was very, very cute. And what was fantastic on Zoom is the parental participation in the lessons to actually help the kids. And on those, if I can go on to the next step, the stroke, a lot of people were very skeptical. Well, how are we going to teach these kids stroke work out of the water? It's actually been mind-blowing. It's been phenomenal to watch these kids develop. And what we decided to do, Teacher Angie took our normal 4-week cycle that we do in the water, and she took them through each lesson and each stroke. The strokes are absolutely beautiful. They're looking amazing. I mean, I think we can't wait to get them back in the water and see how they're actually doing. But, you know, on Zoom, you can't just make it a boring lesson. It has to have a fun side to it and an interactive side. So we did, we downloaded hello songs. We downloaded goodbye songs. We did little dry land sessions with them. We did dress up weeks with them where they had to come as a superhero. We did where they interacted. They could tell Angie the dry land thing she had to do, and we played games like Simple Simon, all that kind of thing, where they played the game with each other with Teacher Angie, which was really special. It's been quite sweet.
That is wonderful. That is so, being so creative. And that's what it is about, actually getting them to participate. And I'm so glad you've seen these results, because that is so cool. And I think sometimes we forget that actually, to even while we're doing our lessons, if a kid's not getting that freestyle arm coming over correctly, it is important to actually get them out the pool and practice that outside the pool, or actually ask the parents, these are kind of things you can do to help the coordination at home. So this is actually a perfect opportunity so that we can actually see results. And I'm telling you, when those kids get back in the water, their strokes are going to be amazing.
Yeah, look, I think their body and buoyancy in the water might adjust it a little bit. It could be a little bit more of a challenge for them. But yeah, basically now on the stroke technique or whatever, they've learnt it, a lot of them, which is super exciting for us. So yeah.
That's so cool. So how did you find these Zoom sessions and how the kids reacted to them?
Yeah, I think, kids are kids and they're all different and they, excuse me, they're all unique, and some adapted very easily. Some didn't, Tori. I mean, that's a fact of life. It's going to happen. We actually servicing right now a core group of clients. And I think we're thrilled that they're on board. They're loving it. The kids are loving it. I think in the beginning, the kids were initially shy. But I think also a lot of the kids today are used to now, because of lockdown, actually online lessons with their schools and everything. So in some ways, I think we just complemented that by bringing swimming into it so they could continue their swimming lessons. And I know it sounds all fun and whatever, but there was a big part of the lesson which was actually learning as well, which is the swimming side, which was we definitely needed to do.
Did you include water safety into those lessons?
Yeah, we did. We actually held, we found a very nice water safety video, and it goes through all the different water safety. It's a song, it's about the ranger, water safety ranger, and he goes along and he starts doing all these water safety activities. And then we actually ran a quiz with the kids afterwards, where Angie would quiz them on different things they'd learned. And in every lesson, from learn to swim, learn to stroke, they were asked at the beginning of the lesson all their water safety questions about rules around the pool, rules about swimming on their own, and which is compulsory in all our lessons. They have to always repeat the emergency number. And that was done in every lesson.
Wow, yes, that's a really good idea and something really important. So sure. No, that is really cool. So how did you then also translate it to your squad swimmers?
Yeah, the squads, I think, has also been fantastic. A nice experience for us. It really has. What we did is Carl, with the knowledge that he has and skills on teaching, he's a very solid and sound technical guy. We actually ran a lot of stroke workshops. But we're talking about swimmers here who are fairly new into swimming, and they don't actually understand the big picture of swimming and stroke breakdown and fundamentals and all those kind of things. So we ran those workshops for them. We have been since April. They have done a lot of theory. We have held trivia quizzes with them. They have learned about stroke rules, stroke drills for each stroke, how when you do a drill, you have to bring in the stroke rules to make the stroke effective. We've covered nutrition with them. We've covered mental approach with them. We've done a lot of theory, tons and tons of theory with them. But also, once again, the theory is great and their learning seemed to be fantastic. The big thing was the interaction with Carl and Chris on the sessions, which, just to be close to their coaches and whatever was fantastic. And then what we did to make it a lot of dry land, but what we did to make it more fun for them, Chris actually opened up on Discord a Aquarius Aquatics social hub. So the kids come on there and they load music that they want to do play to the dry land sessions. It's also a way they can communicate with each other, their coaches, watch videos, training videos online. We've often put them into classrooms where they've done trivia quizzes and had to make up their own questions about strokes and drills and swimming, all different things. So yeah, it's been rewarding that side as well. We've placed quite a bit of feedback on our Facebook page, which has been fantastic to get. And yeah, that all said, it's been wonderful and whatever, but I'm going to be honest, Tori, we can't wait to get the back in the water. I mean, it's time.
Sure. No, you really have been creative, and I see you've you guys have brainstormed together and together as a team. You can see that you've just worked so well. It's almost like you guys have definitely, I think you were strong before, but do you find that this has even brought you together even more?
Yeah, I think it has. I think we are all very invested in what we do. We're all very passionate about what we do. And I think we've probably all got the same common vision and goal in life for swimmers, whether it be a baby, a 4-year-old, 5-year-old, whatever the age is, a squad swimmer. We all want the same thing for these kids, and that's for them to swim confidently and adapt to water and feel good in water and be able to enjoy an aquatics experience. And I think that's what was important to us. I think collectively, this just came quite naturally because we've all got quite a bit of experience. I mean, teacher Angie's got 7 years teaching experience herself as well. So, and then Carl and Chris and I and Taryn, I mean, yeah, it took a lot of thought on some things and whatever, but it has been fun. It's been very rewarding, I must say. Not to say though, Tori, we haven't lost clients. I mean, please don't get me wrong there. We have. A lot of it due to financial times. And we're hoping that those clients are going to come back when we open our doors again and as the months get warm and as everybody recovers financially. But yeah, as a team, I think we've actually realized that we are solution finders if we can.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Solution finders. I just want to go back a little bit and talk about the swimmers and what you've done outside the pool. A lot of times in our squat sessions, we actually don't have the time to bring them out the pool and explain those things as you spoke about, the drills, why we do certain drills. The theory and technique behind it. And I know sometimes you just want to get them swimming, but it's actually really important. I mean, you even spoke about mindset, which I think is a huge thing in swimming, and nutrition and so many different aspects that you covered. I know a lot of people were hesitant to be like, oh no, our swimmers are going to go backwards and they haven't been in the pool. But I really think that you have set your swimmers up for success. And by covering all what you have in obviously in a super fun and appropriate and actually quizzing them so that you can see how much they've retained, they are just going to come back stronger. And I want to say that is really really great and innovative on your side. So well done.
No, thanks, Tori. I mean, yeah, you know, we're hoping, I think swimmers of our level, particularly in the squads as well, they're not like national swimmers and whatever. So are they going to come back hell of a refreshed? And I think they're going to come back renewed. And, you know, a lot of these kids take winter training breaks anyway because they're not top club swimmers. But I'm hoping that they are, you know, we've got quite a large amount of kids coming back as soon as we open our doors. And yeah, we're looking forward to working with them. And we hope they're going to bring into the water what they've learnt in their theory. You know, even as far as grip and feel, we've spoken about all these things with them, you know, and even Carl has gone as far as to explain to them when he gives them an instruction, they should know now what he's referring to because they've done all theory content. So yeah, and on the learn to swim side, I mean, teacher Angie has given her heart and soul into this, and yeah, we're excited. So yeah.
That's so cool. Now, COVID has had such a massive impact on the swim school industry. I don't even think we understand and can grasp the effect of it yet. Lots of swim schools that normally open in winter aren't going to be even able to open now. And I know as a family business, it must have impacted you tremendously. What challenges have you found you're going to have in these upcoming months?
Yeah, Tori, it has been hell of a challenging, and I think the biggest challenge for us has been the financial one. When you're talking a family business where everybody earns a salary out of this business, the impact on the livelihood has been quite something. You know, but that said, I think each swim school is going to have their own challenges, whether it be manpower to cope with the thermometer, temperature, the logging, the tracing, whatever it may be. While there's a team, we've luckily got that manpower to handle that as clients are coming in. I think the challenge for us in our instance is going to be dealing with lesser numbers, restricted capacity due to social distancing. Because as a business, you know, if I look at what numbers we had at the end of March compared to what we're going to come back with now, yeah, as a family business, it's something we're going to have to really get business smart on and figure a way to actually work this for us, you know.
Yeah. Now, it's quite difficult to know how many people are going to come back. I mean, there's so many reasons. There could be financial reasons swimmers can't come back, or they could be still scared of the pandemic. In South Africa, we haven't even reached our peak yet. And so how do you know? Have you put anything in place to know how many of your swimmers are coming back?
Yeah, we have. Taryn has actually handled that side with the Learn to Swim clients. I've handled it with the squad swimmers. Basically, it's just been a communication to them, always updating them as to what the latest status is. They actually got an SMS the other day, the Learn to Swim kids and the squad kids, just telling them what the latest status was, that we're hoping to open our doors soon. A lot of clients have indicated, we know for sure all our Zoom clients are definitely coming back. We know we have some clients that were quite clear that they didn't want to do Zoom, but the minute we open our doors, they will be back. And then there's some we haven't heard of, heard from in months, I'm going to be honest with you, which we are now trying to connect with and find out what's their status with the swim school. Because it is important to a business to establish that in advance of opening your doors, because you've got to know what your numbers are. And also with the ruling now, registering Learn to Swim swimmers as well, we have to be able to register those swimmers for them to get that membership letter that they can actually participate in the lessons. So yeah, I think we're on that at the moment, really dealing with customers and talking to them, whether it be SMS, telephonically or whatever, and we are trying to determine those numbers right now.
Okay. No, I think it's something as a business that is quite concerning, because, I mean, it is all about having those numbers. You still, if you've got your coaches and your teachers to pay regardless of how many kiddies are in those pools. I mean, if you're really teaching, you're going to have 1 or 2 kids into the pool, whether you normally had 6, that's going to be a huge difference when we talk about numbers.
Yeah, it is. And the thing is now, everybody's got to, with the social distancing lines, we've all got to teach in accordance with what we can put capacity-wise in our pool. So, I think the nice thing is that, most of the clients know Teacher Angie. We actually sadly lost one of our teachers at the beginning. It was before the lockdown actually came. So we've managed to actually bring all those clients to Teacher Angie, and she's been working with them on Zoom. So that little, who's Teacher Angie is already broken, which is actually great. And as I say, going forward from there, it's a matter of just thinking smart and how we're going to get to actually place these kids in, whether it be extra hours. Does it mean extra days? We already teach Monday to Saturday. Do we have to look at a 7-day of the week to do this? And that's something the team is currently discussing. And that's why, determining your numbers midweek is so important, because if you've got space there that you can put clients into, if you can hopefully avoid working your Sunday at this stage, because I think that's going to be, quite a challenge to do that, especially with the grandkids and whatever being involved, here with Chris and Taryn. But we're going to do what we feel is right for Aquarius Aquatics and what is going to work for our clients.
Yeah. And do you feel prepared for opening when we do open? Are you feeling prepared? How do you feel?
Yeah, we're definitely prepared. I think we have been for a while. I think it's been nice to get all the guidance that we have. We had been following very closely more on the CDC side, exactly what's been going on in the world, and we'd already started preparing stuff according to that. So that SOP, that standard operating procedure, and that was, although it's a lot of work, it was actually good to put together, because it puts a clear picture in the team's head as well, exactly how this is going to operate. We also did a map layout of our facility, so clients will get direction and a pathway of what actually goes on in the swim school. Everything else is in place. We'd seen your idea of the video, and we'd actually already started one. We've actually done a video for all our Learn to Swim clients, which is just welcoming them back. It goes through all the different protocol. It goes through all the different things that they have to follow. That'll be going out to them in the next week or so. And they will also be sent a letter from Chris as the owner of the business, just explain to them exactly where we are and all that kind of thing. On the squad side,
Sorry, I really like the idea of doing that video, because you almost have to get your swimmers excited again about opening, like actually having a grand reopening and getting them excited. I'm sure they've really missed their swimming lessons too, and are like really excited to get back. So actually putting that strategy together, like the video, as you're saying, and the letter, is something that is really important to actually get them excited and get them connected again. Even if they haven't kind of attended the Zoom sessions, and they've been busy doing other things, now is the time really to draw all these different people in, and get them excited for your reopening again.
I agree 150%. And I think, Tori, even going more than that, it's about making clients feel comfortable to the environment they're coming back to. I mean, nobody can guarantee anything. We're following protocol. We're doing the best we can to offer them the safest environment. That's all any swim school can actually do. Do you know what I mean? But I think it's about asking clients to trust us, actually. You know, trust us, come back to the swim school. Summer's around the corner for these kids. They've missed out on a lot of in-water time. And we need to get them back in the water. We need to start building them. We need to build their confidence. We need to make sure they're water safe, because a lot of kids, some may not have, but some may have regressed terribly. We've got to rebuild those kids.
Yes.
As I say, with summer so close, there's so much water in this country. I mean, we need to get them back in the water.
Absolutely, we do. And that's why I'm so glad that we do have a date, because now we can all get excited about getting our kids back in the water and getting them water safe. So that's something that I'm really excited about.
Yeah, we're all looking forward to it. I think on the squad side, we got a little bit more of a challenge, because I know Swimming South Africa are currently dealing with all private school groups to at least open their doors to clubs and whatever. So yeah, but hopefully that'll come soon.
You know, I'm saying all about connecting and communicating with your existing clientele, but you know, it's not just your existing clientele that is seeing what you have done over this time. There are lots of swim schools that have been too scared to say anything, and all their swimmers have seen kind of what you have been doing. So by just communicating and being out there, you're also visible to a whole lot of other people. And that's where actually communicating is so important. It's because you will also be putting yourself out there for new clients. And maybe some of your swimmers that aren't ready to come back just yet, maybe they're looking at the end of the year or next term, you'll still be able to draw from those swimmers that haven't heard from their swim schools in all this time. They've seen and they might have connected with you over this time too.
Yeah, I think that's a lovely way of putting it, and hopefully, yeah, look, as I said, Facebook was quiet for a while. We've started posting a bit more now on those Zoom sessions, what we've done, some of the feedback. We do have an advertising campaign ready to go. That won't go until our doors are actually open. But yeah, you know, I'd like to think that we are going to be out there again ASAP. And, you know, I think for Chris and I, we're just grateful the effort the team has actually put in during this time.
Julie, what has been your biggest takeaway over this time?
Personally, I would say the strength of the family, Tori. That is the first thing for me. Just being there for each other to actually get through these really tough times, and it has been very tough. I'm not going to deny that. I think also for all of us, personal growth. You know, there's been a lot of workshops out there and whatever, which has been fantastic for everybody. But personal growth in our own business, but also understanding how to handle a situation like this. I mean, we've never had something like this in our lives, and that must create personal growth for you, and I think it certainly has. And as I said earlier, definitely for us is that this team are solution finders. If we can find a way to connect with our clients who wish to be connected with them, I think that's what's important, because those who want to remain in contact with us, we're going to find a way. I mean, we're going to stand on our head to find a way to service you, because that's how passionate we actually are. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I think another thing from a business as a whole is how quickly the goalposts can change when something like this actually happens. Yeah. You know, you're up here, and 3 months later you're here, and now you're trying to climb again. But we'll get there. I mean, I think all swim schools will. You know, it's just going to be perseverance, and I think that's exactly what our team is trying as well, is just persevering all the time to actually be out there and get back into the game.
Wow. Well, I think that you guys have been you come across as such a dynamic, creative team that is really put together, and you support each other. And it seems like you also draw from each other's strengths. A very well-rounded family and team. And I just, I think it's incredible. So I just want to say, a really well done to all of you, because it's not just one person that has taken it on their shoulders, or that you've all felt it. You've all drawn from each other, and I can really see the outcome of that. So that is something that is really cool. I love that about you, and that you've actually looking your whole mindset around it and taking it, okay, we've really grown personally. And I'm really big into personal growth. I love that. So I'm so glad that you felt that. Okay, well, this is a time for us to actually grow. And I think that's awesome.
Thanks, Tori. No, I appreciate it. Thank you very, very much.
Judy, is there anything that you would have done differently with regards to communicating and connecting with your clients? Because it seems like you've covered everything, but looking back, as it's always good to look back and see what you would have done differently, is there anything that you would change?
Yeah, Tori, I think there's always room for improvement in anything. I don't think anybody's ever perfect. And I think probably if we look back and in 6 months' time, we might say, oh, we wish we'd done this, we wish we'd done that. So I think always striving to be better is probably the way to look at it. And there's always improvements that can be done, definitely.
Awesome. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on and chatting with me today. I think it's going to open so many people's minds to see how creative you can get when put into a situation like this, when you feel, I don't know what to do, or thinking that you've actually covered everything. But actually, there's always something else that you can do. And even if it's just looking at your personal growth through this time, is actually something that's really awesome. So thank you, Julie.
No, thanks, Tori. Thanks very much. And thanks for letting us share, just our experiences during the lockdown, because I know it's been very tough for the swimming fraternity out there. And going forward, I wish them all the best, and just strive and face the challenges and just get back out there, and let's get these kids back in order.